What's going on, too? How's everybody been doing? How is everybody doing? I'm doing pretty well. So right now it's about 4:30 in the morning, and believe it or not, this is actually the earliest that I've gotten off in a little minute. I'm not going to complain. I will take it. So we're going to talk about FedEx Ground now. Some of y'all already know this, and a lot of y'all don't know this. And I've been getting a lot of questions on that video that I put out a few months regarding FedEx Ground. Now, for those who don't know, at some point in my trucking career, I drove for FedEx Ground. Here's another backstory on that. Prior to having my CDL, I did the P&D, pretty much the van lines, the little cargo vans that you might see at your house or businesses. I did that as well at one point. I know a lot of you guys ask, what was my experience like? What was the money like? And what was the job itself entail? So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that. I'm pretty sure in the original video I talked about it, but since I have some time, we can talk about it again. So for starters, it's different divisions of FedEx. You have Express, Freight, Ground, Custom Critical. Now, I did Ground, and for those who don't know, when you work for FedEx Ground, you don't actually work for FedEx. I know that's not going to make sense if you're not familiar with FedEx, but basically, FedEx Ground is all independent contractors. You work for an independent contractor. And if you ever noticed, if you look on the side of the door on any FedEx Ground vehicle, on the tractor trailers, they usually put them on the doors. For the P&D lines, for the cargo vans, it's usually going to be on the side near the fuel tank. But it's going to tell you the name of the contractor's company. Like, for instance, when I did P&D, it would say blah, 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 Incorporated. Same when I did Linehaul. Now, we're going to talk about the P&D, since I did P&D at one point too. So when I did P&D, I did that for maybe 2 or 3 years. And here's another thing that y'all didn't know. To this day, I still help out on P&D every now and then. On the weekends, sometimes I'll help out. I'll help my old contractor out. Now, as I said before, you work for a contractor. Now, a lot of y'all want to know the pay. When you do P&D, the pay is going to vary. It just depends on the contractor. Whatever the contractor wants to pay you, more than likely it's going to be salary. There are some contractors out there that pay hourly. With P&D, they have home delivery and they have ground, which from what I know, they've merged into one. It's still ground, but back when I started, home delivery, basically you only delivered to homes, apartments. Ground, you deliver, the big heavy shit. You deliver mainly businesses. By the way, there's a YouTuber, C. Thompson. He used to drive for FedEx Ground, P&D. He still has some videos, so check him out. He basically did point of view, showed, everyday life working for FedEx. But back to the pay for P&D. Some contract, I know a lot of contractors, they pay $1 per stop. Now, I know you're going to scratch your head, $1 per stop. Now, keep in mind, you could be doing as much as 200 stops a day, so 200 stops a day, times 5 days a week or 6 days a week, it adds up. So realistically speaking, depending on the contract, you can make a little over $1,000 a week doing P&D. Now, again, it just depends. Now, keep in mind, you could have a rural route, you could have a city route. It just depends. I've worked for a few contractors when I did P&D. Now, I'm out of Hillsborough County, Tampa, and we have a big service area. Those who are familiar with Florida, out of Tampa, We service Hillsborough County, we service Pasco County, Hernando County. I actually had a route at one point all the way in Hernando, so it would take me nearly an hour, you know, just to get to my first stop. So just keep that in mind. Your route could be pretty far. With P&D also, not only do you do deliveries, you'll also do pickups. You'll typically have pickups if you have a ground route, home delivery. It's very rare that you'll have pickups, but again, it can happen. So enough with the P&D side. We're going to talk about what you guys are mainly interested in, the line haul. As you guys know, I did do line haul for a little bit. Basically what the line haul is, on the tractor trailer side, they have obviously line haul, and they have something which is called spot accounts, which is basically you're like a local driver. You're just delivering and picking up to like bigger business. Like for example, you might go to like a Walmart distribution center, or you might go to like, you know, just big places that require, you know, a tractor trailer. Line haul is a nighttime operation, and basically what that is you're gonna go from terminal to terminal or hub to hub. So when I was there, I started around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I would go from like Ocala. I would go to Ocala. Sometimes I would go to Orlando, and I would basically do 2 turns. For instance, one night I might go from Tampa to Ocala 2 times, double turn, or I might do Orlando, double turn. Now, when I did the line haul, sometimes I would run out of the St. Pete terminal, which is probably about 20-30 minutes from the Tampa terminal. So sometimes if I was running out of St. Pete, you know, I would go from St. Pete to Ocala 2 times, or St. Pete to Orlando 2 times, and then maybe Davenport and then Orlando. So it basically just depends. As far as the pay, again, it just depends on the contractor. Now, let me mention, the contractors for P&D and line haul are different. So don't think that you can do P&D and then jump over to line haul. You would have to obviously reapply, because most P&D contractors don't have line haul routes. So just keep that in mind. As far as the job itself, you know, it's not that hard. Now keep in mind, you are hooking up doubles. You know, you're hooking it up all on your own. You have to find a dolly, find your lead, find your tail. It's not that hard. Now I will tell you guys, it's a hustle game. You know, you gotta hustle, because these terminals are busy. Like if you go to Ocala is pretty busy. Orlando's pretty busy. Jacksonville's pretty busy. So you got to get in and out, because, you know, you got other local guys coming in and out. You have the teams coming in and out. Now, it's all drop and hook. Now, I will say, when you go to bigger hubs, especially Orlando, expect to wait. You know, sometimes your trailer might not be ready. Now, usually for your first turn, when you do your first turn, it's always going to be ready. But your second turn, from my experience, my second turn, my trailers were never ready. You know, when I would go, it'd never be ready. Sometimes my trailer wouldn't even be at the terminal. It might still be on the road, because a lot of times you might have a team, you know, bringing your trailer from out of state. So expect some waits, but I mean, it's not often, but again, it can happen. As far as the equipment, it all just depends on what the contractor has. It just depends, you know. Now, they also have teams. You know, it just depends, again, on the contractors. Some contractors, they do teams only. Some have both. Like the contractor I worked for, he had only local, so he didn't have like team runs. And for teams, you know, as far as I know, most of them are out 5 days, home for 2. Some are out for 2 weeks, home for 4. So, you know, it just depends on what the contractor is offering. It all just depends. As far as benefits, some contractors don't offer benefits, some do. It just depends on the contractor. As far as I probably should have said this in the video, as far as how to apply to FedEx Ground, you can go to Indeed, go to Craigslist, Facebook Jobs. You're not really going to see it. Well, you're not going to see it on the FedEx website because, again, it's all independent contractor. And as far as getting on Linehaul, most contractors, want a year, some want more. But as far as the FedEx guidelines, you can get on with 6 months with an approved CDL school. But to save you a headache, just have a year experience before you come to FedEx Ground. All right, y'all, so I'm going to wrap this up. So as I always tell y'all, thank you to all my day one subscribers. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Appreciate all you guys. As I tell you guys, if you liked the video, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs up anyway. And as I always tell y'all take it easy, stay safe.